Dear children, now today we are taking and dealing with the second subtopic, that is partition of Bengal. If you minutely observe, for your study purpose, I have drawn here a raw map of the then times Bengal. And Bengal was the biggest province in the British rule. That comprises the part of Orissa, Bihar, Assam, Bengal. This all area was comprised of this Bengal province. And what British administration did, particularly the Lord Curzon, the then Viceroy, he parted the eastern Bengal and attached it to the Assam. And he argued the reason behind it is administrative and for convenience purpose, so that they can extend their better administration to the Indians. But the hidden motive behind this of Britain or British rule was to just segregate the politicians of Bengal, and the maximum Muslim population in eastern Bengal, that is around 58% of that time. So the influence of these Bengal politicians should be reduced, might be reduced. That was the motive behind it. And this, against this partition, all over the country, the rage or movement started. That is there. See, it includes the Bihar and Orissa, this Orissa part, and Bihar is here, and Bengal. Presently, we have the West Bengal here, the still West Bengal here, and the East Bengal. Now, some of the parts are the parts of Bangladesh, isn't it? So, the partition of Bengal influenced the people of India in a very what you call the deepened manner all over India. All sections of the Congress, that even moderates and radicals, all condemned the act of this Lord Curzon. The struggle that unfolded came to be known as Swadeshi movement. So now, already in the last period, we had seen the act of Lal, Bal and Pal, particularly Bal Gangadhar Tilak, that he has given the slogan, "Freedom is my birthright and I shall have it." So, the Swadeshi movement, seeing this partition, the Swadeshi movement commenced. What was there in the Swadeshi movement? Yes, everything that is of ours, made in India, or made from the people of India, made from the rural or urban areas. So how did it? The Bengal, the strongest in Bengal, this Swadeshi movement, but with echoes elsewhere too. In Deltic Andhra, for instance, it was known as the Vande Mataram movement. What movement had started after this one is in response to the act of Lord Curzon, partition of Bengal, Swadeshi movement started. Swadeshi movement. And some of the parts in Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, it was Vande Mataram movement. So, see how the nationalism built in the hearts of the Indians. The actions or the enactments of the British rule caused to make it stronger and stronger in the hearts of Indians. That is there. Then let us focus on Swadeshi movement. What comprises Swadeshi movement? Just have a look here, the pictorial graph. The Eastern Bengal is attached to the Assam. In Eastern Bengal, there were majority of Muslims, and Lord Curzon wanted to reduce the influence of Bengali politicians over the Muslims, so that they should not be united. They should not work unitedly against the British. So this is a dividing policy of British administration. Okay, now what was the Swadeshi movement? What says the Swadeshi movement? Swadeshi movement has given the four very important factors and principles. Swadeshi movement, and it was the leading. This movement was led by particularly Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lokmanya Tilak. Swadeshi movement. They urged the Indian people to do what? What to do? First is self-help. It means already we have seen self-help. We have to help ourselves nowadays in this corona crisis. Atmanirbhar. So we have to self-reliant, not dependent on others. Self-help. Then Swadeshi enterprises. Whatever you use Swadeshi or made in India. If we use the India made or Indians made or manufactured goods or materials, that means the economy will remain in India, isn't it? The flow of wealth won't go to the British or England or UK. The national education, see, we have maximum earlier depending on British education system. So we have to introduce our own schools. Don't rely on the schools of the British government, and use of Indian languages. So this is also important. Use of why Indian language? Because there were a different kind of the opinions regarding the use of English, because English was just curtailing us or dividing us from our own culture. So Indians have very own and rich and ancient culture. So it was stressed during the Swadeshi movement. These Indian languages must be used to communicate with each other and for the instruction purpose in education system. Okay, these 4 points you must remember. Swadeshi movement, that is in response to Bengal partition. Swadeshi movement started in 1906. Actually, it started as soon as this partition began, but the process and progress has been seen in the next year. So Swadeshi movement, self-help, Swadeshi enterprises, national education and use of Indian languages. Now let's turn towards the next point or subtopic, that is Muslim League. Very important. In 1906, Muslim League was this organization, this political organization was established. Muslim League. So there were, see, in India since 7th century, particularly 712 Anno Domini, Muslim invaded India, and from then they had this political contact with the Indians or Indian land. So this Muslim population is to some extent very big in India, considering the other regions or other particular Muslim countries. It was a mixture of races, it was a mixture of religions, our Indian society. So there were many of the Muslim landlords, since they are living and they have, Muslims also have the tradition of the kingman or a royal family or noble families. Hence, Muslim landlords, those who had been educated in English during English British rule, and Nawabs formed this named All India Muslim League in Dhaka. Presently, Dhaka is the capital city of Bangladesh, and that was established. This Muslim League was established in 1906. So, All India, its complete name is All India Muslim League, where Dhaka. When? 1906. By whom? By Muslim landlords and Nawabs. By these people it is. And what they demanded, earlier demand was, they desired separate electorates for Muslims. See, what was their demand? Separate I already told you since very long time Muslim population was residing in India and they were now the inseparable part of India. And that's why they wanted to voice their demands, their desires. So they desired there must be a separate electorates, like the majority of Hindus have the influences over Indian administration, society and government. So like that, some of the landlords and Nawabs came with this desire that separate electorates or separate state must be formed for Muslim population only. So some seats in the councils were now reserved. Now what happened? See, they demanded in 1906 as soon as their establishment, but the demand has been granted by government in 1909. Why? See, this is also very important point. Why this demand has been granted by government? It was just only to separate Muslims from Hindu-led or Congress-led this agitation or movement. But however, you can find majority of Muslim representatives are also working in INC, Indian National Congress. But still, with some inner desire, this Muslim League has been formed. Then in 1909, it was declared by Muslim government that some seats are reserved. See, in 1909, some seats are reserved for Muslims. Only the Muslim candidate can contest the elections, and it is reserved for Muslims only. This is that the arrangement has been done on the demand of Muslim League. Now, what happened? 1906 and 1909. Now desire increased. It was first only the seats are reserved. Now this tempted politicians to gather following by distributing favors to their own religious groups. But meantime, the Congress, which established in 1885, near about after 20 years in 1907, due to differences in opinions of moderates and radicals, this Congress split. In 1907, Congress split into two halves. It means, but the group which exit or which left the active participation in the INC, that was led by radicals. They declared, we will help to the activities of INC from outside, but we won't be active within the group in INC. But we will support what you are doing for the sake of India or Indians. This is. But in subsequent years, what happened? See, remember 1906, 1909, 1906 it is established. Then 1907, what incident took place? That Congress split. But meantime, after near about 9 years, 1916, both 8 years. After 8 years, the group moderates and radicals are reunited and they make a giant venture to work again with full force with a boosting energy. And what happened subsequently in the next year 1916? Let us see, that is called Lucknow Pact. That we will see here. See, we saw that some of the incidents from 1906, 1909, the Muslim League established. Then Muslim League was given a reservation from Muslim population in the legislative councils. That also happened. Now, the INC, that is so called by the Muslims, that was led by Hindu influences. It was so the assumptions of Muslim League was INC and Muslim League. So they have the different objectives. Their objective is to lead the voice, to work for the voice of Muslim people. But INC was working throughout India for whole Indians, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, language, and region. But Muslim League wanted to just give the more importance to the Muslim population. So their objectives were different. Then what happened subsequently? In 1916, they thought that being separated, because in 1907 this Congress was split. So the INC itself had split into two halves. Isn't it? One was the moderate group and another was the radicals. Okay. They united in 1915, and in the next year, 1916, this Lucknow Pact came into existence between this Congress and Muslim League. So this turned into plus. Okay, INC and ML, this 1916. Now they became a unity. Unitedly, they were now doing the work for Indians. Okay, and Muslim League signed the historic Lucknow Pact and decided to work together for a representative government in the country. And government, that's the British government, was going to give the more representation to the Indians. That's why this Lucknow Pact came into existence. Then the growth of mass nationalism. Now, see, Swadeshi movement and this Bengal Partition and this earlier work done by this INC for 50 or 20 years, initial 20 years, that was for some of the parts. Okay, by now, the whole Indians now made aware of their rights, made aware of the working style of British, how they are doing the wrong with the Indians since many years. So here comes the whole mass of the country, mass population involved into the process of nationalism, and that took place during First World War, the growth of mass nationalism. See here. What happened? War crisis, First World War, commenced in 1914. It commenced in 1914. War situations makes very much disruption and disturbance to the normal life situations. Inside the country, on the borders. On the borders there is violence, but within the country the prices go high, shortage of food, normal situation is totally devastated. You might have seen this for 2-3 months, since last 3 to 4 months, due to the pandemic corona, how the world is suffering from various kinds of the problems, industrial, economical, normality, that all has been damaged, endangered, isn't it? The government increased taxes. See, earlier agitations, earlier the works of Madras Madhya Sabha, Indian Association, Bombay Presidency, Pune Sarvati Sabha was limited to the cities, because though they appealed to be the member of that associations, but the means of communications were limited, and the spread of such things was limited due to resources. But government of England or British government in India is ruling throughout the country. That is why, as soon as war began, and England was an active participant country in this World War, right? First World War. First World War. Hence, taxes increased to meet additional expenses during the war situations or war times. Taxes, isn't it? Taxes increased. It was earlier, if you consider the England is here, okay, and India is here. Earlier, the goods were used to carry and to be sold here in India. Factories were in England. Okay, factories were in England, and the ready-made material came to India to sell it. And the wealth that is extracted from selling in the high prices, the flow was going to the England. Taxes increased, and see, संकट में भी अवसर ढूंढना, finding opportunity in crisis times, during crisis also. Nowadays also the same thing is happening. This time this ready-made goods stopped coming from the England to India. So Indian tradesmen or Indian industrialists got opportunities to increase their production. This was the first opportunity got the only tradesmen, businessmen or industries. But on the contrary, the common man, peasants, farmers, workers, laborers, the common man was made to suffer due to this First World War. Military expenses increased, there is a recruitment. Indian youngsters were compelled to join the British Army, British Indian Army. They were forced to join us. Village to village, they went and asked to join, and forcibly they were compelled to join the army. This was the situation. The increase in military expenditure and the demands for war supplies led to a sharp rise in the prices, which created great difficulties for the common people. So, we are in military expenses. Increased. I already told you, Indian industries that was benefiting. Here, Indian industries and Indian industries and businessmen got opportunities. Now, how this situation benefited to the Indians to create the mass nationalism? I already told you, Indian youngsters were compelled to join the army. They joined, they fought on the battlefield, and there during their stay on the warfield, amongst other soldiers of Europe, they realized what freedom is, what democracy is, and where war ended in 1918. In 1918, when war ended, they returned to their homes with an idea of freedom. Eh? Here I am right, with an idea of freedom, democracy, equality. Even during the war, soldier is a soldier. Okay. One more thing during this time happened. Just before 1 year of ending the First World War in 1917, Russian Revolution emerged. 1917. Russian Revolution. And very important thing is that this revolution was not led by very intellectual person or very laureate person, but common workers and peasants. Who led this one? Workers and now they gave the inspiration to Indians, common Indians. If workers and peasants can lead and bring down the Russia's Russian Tsarship, if they can bring down, they can break it, then why can't we, the very common, this English rule or Britain rule, can't we do it? This idea or this opinion, this thought came to the Indians, and the growth of mass nationalism you can find immediately in the subsequent year. Okay. The advent of Mahatma. We are going as per our textbook. As you know, Mahatma Gandhi was working as a barrister, as a lawyer at South Africa, and he used to take the cases of particularly the Indian tradesmen or businessmen, those who are working or taking their businesses there in South Africa. So, at the age of 46, in 1915, Gandhiji returned India. Okay? In 1915. Okay. Then what he did there, he had a very good contact with the Indian people, maybe from Muslims, Parsons, Christians, Gujarati, Tamils, with everyone. So, primary, the very good relations he had with the Indians while working in South Africa. When he returned to India, then he first traveled throughout the country and understood the local situation of the Indians. He understood their needs, their capabilities, their resources, their sufferings, and he planned his line of working or movement. As soon as he came, he joined or he led some of the small local interventions. That is at Champaran and Kheda. At Champaran, there was a indigo workers, a problem of indigo workers were there. And Kheda, the peasants, the farmers were opposing to their zamindars or pattedars. And he came into the contact with Rajendra Prasad and Vallabhbhai Patel. During this early time, okay, in 1918, he led successfully the mill workers strike in Ahmedabad. Led after negotiation, it was done